So a few years ago, I started a YouTube channel. I think it was 2022, I believe. And I had every intention, of course. I had the ideas, I had the motivation. Well, I thought I did anyway. But I didn't continue. And meanwhile, if you want to see the channel that I started, well, the first video that I posted about it, I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, so I started a YouTube channel, and I didn't continue. And then in 2024, I said, you know what, I want to try this again. Particularly because this is something that I know I love. I love to share, I love to connect with people, I love to speak. So it sort of takes my passion for connecting with people, because I'm personally I'm naturally a connector. So I just love to do it. And so I tried again, and I thought, you know what, because this is something, that's the one thing that I know I really absolutely love. But somehow, I don't know, it's just the consistency, I guess, that just wasn't working for me. So yeah, as I said, in 2024, I tried again. And this time I actually even started with a podcast called Made Creative. And again, it started well. I did a couple of episodes, but somewhere along the way, I stopped. And for a long time, I started to think, oh, you know what, this is not fine. I think someone would probably say it's consistency. I just wasn't being consistent. Yes, which is true. It was consistency that was a problem. But then I think there's always a root to things that on the surface it's one word, but there's always a root underneath that comes to it. And I believed that was where it was from. And it also took me a bit of time. I had to step back from a lot of things because it was just running through so much, not just the YouTube channel and the podcast. I was starting to sense it in my ventures, the different things that I was doing, as in me being a multi-passionate creative. You know, I love to do things here and there. Starting things, it just felt like a lot of false starts. And so, yeah, I actually had a moment where I just stopped and I asked God what was going on. Because I was like, Lord, if you truly did create me and you know me well enough, why am I this way? You know, what's going on? What is going on? Why am I able to pioneer actually a lot of things and yet not stay consistent? And it's not like I was just pioneering low key, like I was like big enough pioneering to make impact and make people notice. I mean, even news and stuff. But yeah. So, but somewhere along the way, I would always lose interest or just stop. And I think that stopping also bothered me a lot because it didn't feel right. So, as I said, I think I started to think maybe it was a discipline problem. But I don't think it was a discipline problem either, because I know myself. I really will put my heart to things and not half make things. And so I thought then maybe, like I said, I just needed to be more consistent or more focused and keep pushing at it, working at it harder. But if I'm honest, that never really felt like the truth. And that's why I said there's always a root to these things. Sometimes people keep saying it's consistency, or you're not working hard enough, or you're not disciplined enough, or you're just being distracted by so many things. And yet there is something deeper. There's a root cause to all of these things. It's like when you get angry, sometimes when we have these anger outbursts, you get angry, or you get irritated quite easily about things, or just some of those things, there's always a root cause. When you start to think about it, there's always like there's something deeper where it's coming from. Maybe it's a previous experience when you were a child. Maybe it's some shame that you have that you're afraid of. Like, I don't know. There's always a root cause of these things, and it sometimes it's just undealt with issues, but they come up as these kind of things. So that's why I said there was a deeper truth to my false starts and my not continuing to do things the way I would hope they'd be. So anyway, but again, for sure, I knew I wasn't lazy. And I actually cared a lot. And I think that's the thing, because I knew it wasn't a consistency problem. It's not that I was not focused, because I know that when I do something, I put my 100% to it. In fact, 1,000% to it. And so I know it wasn't just being lazy. And when I do my 1,000%, because I know there's people being impacted by what I'm doing, whether it's one person that's going to be impacted, I care enough about that person who's going to be impacted by what I'm doing. So I knew that that was also like, that was another part of the whole package. But I just couldn't seem to figure out what it was. Like, why couldn't I sustain it? Like, even when I knew that was the impact, I'd get to a point where I'd work at it to a point where I'm like, okay, you know what? At least let me just get this one person through, and then I can drop it. And I thought maybe yeah, I mean, fair enough. There is a part of the excitement, the fresh excitement about things. You get so excited at the beginning, and then it starts to fizzle out. But there's a way to actually handle that as well. So, basically, as I was trying to figure out why I couldn't sustain all these things that I was starting, I over time, that started to feel like I said, I started to feel like something was wrong, and I knew something was missing. And like, I was building things, but not becoming anything particular. It was almost like there's some fulfillment, there's something missing. I just couldn't really place a word to it. And to a certain extent, I started to feel like a fraud about it. Like I said, there were really high impact things that I was doing, and launching and pioneering. So naturally, I would start to feel like, man, guys, people, like, I'm starting to feel like a fraud. Like, people are actually invested in what I'm doing. There's impact, but I'm not seeing it through. So I definitely had that bit. And that's why I went and I just took it to the Lord and I said, Lord, please, like, what is going on? What is going on? And I hadn't done anything wrong. But it was just bothering me so much that why couldn't I see it through? And so recently I realized something. Now this has been honestly a journey of about 4 years of transformation. I would more than happily be able to come back and share this with you. In fact, actually that's what I want to do with the reason why I'm starting this channel now. I'm going to unpack that in different times, different points in time on this channel and on the podcast as well, because I'm doing it at the same time. And so I realized there's definitely something that I learned something, or I over time, because I started to take steps back and started to recognize what it was that was missing, and I realized there was a pattern to it. And yeah, and the thing is, once I realized that, I realized, like I said, it's not a discipline problem, it wasn't a focusing problem, and it wasn't a consistency problem. It just was that I had no structure or a system that would allow me to carry things through that actually worked with my kind of wiring as a multi-passionate creative, or someone who just, I wouldn't call it being the shiny penny syndrome, but for lack of a better word, or sometimes actually like a jack of all trades, that type of thing. So I just needed a system that would be able to bring it together, all together, and work and help me to carry it through to the end. So yeah, and once I found that, I just realized, that structure, putting that structure that I figured out into my creativity completely changed everything. Because the strongest thing about it is that it was in my natural wiring. It is who I was. It was my identity. It was There was no fighting about me, because even when I started I won't lie, like when I started the podcast and the YouTube channel, then it was very much because like I know I love to speak and I love to connect, but it was on like, start your YouTube channel now because da, 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 da. So now it's different. It feels so natural. It feels more grounded. It feels steadier. Even for me, who is a multi-passionate creative, a jack of all trades who loves to do things, there is just a calmness and a peace that is now standing and governing the journey for me. And it's just so beautiful. So it was, yeah, like I said, I had the ideas, but there was no sequence to it. There was visions, very strong visions, but nothing to hold it and keep it in place and to protect it from when the excitement ended. And when you do, like, once I found that structure, because once you don't have that structure, everything starts to collapse, you know. And so once I figured, I realized that, oh gosh, it took so long. It's taken like 5 years or so. Basically, it's taken 4 years of me and the Lord working through it, and then 1 year of me sort of putting it into testing it, sort of. And it's just such a phenomenal place, phenomenal structure, and a way to do it that I'm so excited that I'm going to actually be able to show you. But just know it's going to be something fun. But yeah, once you don't have that sequence or that pattern or that system for creatives particularly, eventually everything starts to collapse under its own weight, because there's just a way that you can navigate it now that just allows you to be so consistent about it, and just to enjoy doing it, and it just flows with you. It comes out of, it is one with you. I think that's the best way I can say it. So I've now learned how to properly build, slowly and very intentionally. And those are the two key things. It is a very slow pauses, and quiet build, because I think that is a superpower for someone who is a multi-passionate person, a jack of all trades, who's always excited and always having ideas. It is that quietness and that stillness that has been the superpower for me. And I'm praying so hard that this is speaking to someone, because there is so much noise around. The moment you actually give yourself that permission, and not even give yourself, take back that power and say, you know what, fine, let me give this thing a try. Let me give this quietness a try. And I kid you not, I swear and I promise it will, it's life changing. It is life changing. It doesn't stop you from doing all the ideas that you have. It just puts a structure to it and a system that makes it work with you. And it's worked for me. Like I said, it's been a long time of making this, of actually working it out until it clicked. And the Lord has been so gracious to actually reveal it to me one step at a time. And it feels very different. It feels very real. So yeah, this is me starting again. This is me starting this YouTube channel again. This is me starting the podcast again. And it is this is me finally understanding what I was missing, and not even understand, actually, yes, because it's still a journey for me. Like, while I've got the system and I figured it out, like, it makes sense, it feels so natural now. I'm still learning the process itself and the implementation of it all. And what can I say? It's just such a beautiful place to be. So yeah, like I said, this is me starting over again. This is me starting this journey, and I'm genuinely now happy, and I want to journey with people as I start this journey as well. And so I'm just one step ahead of everyone. It's not like I'm miles away. I'm just one step ahead, and I just love to come. I want you to come along with me, and I'm more than happy to guide you through all of this. And I'm committing to actually doing that with this journey that I'm now restarting, and now as a creative guide. And yeah, so that's where I am. Like I said, it's as raw as it gets. It will be filled with everything that has worked for me, and that's what I want to share here. Everything that has worked for me, everything that continues to build me, things that make me laugh, things that make me feel joy, things that have, books that I read. I'd love to, I'm just going to unpack and share everything that I can to support, because I know it will help someone. I know how difficult a place it was for me then, and I just don't want anyone else to go through that. So this is me offering to serve and stewarding that gift and that revelation that the Lord has given me, and I'm here to restart and committing to doing that here again. So yeah, if you feel like you keep starting things and you feel like any of this message resonated with you, thank you so much for staying until now, for listening. And I just want to encourage you that you are not the problem. You are actually in a super place. It's the brilliance in you knowing that something isn't right. It's that feeling, do not deny that something isn't right. And it is in moments of quietness that you will actually be able to work through it, and it's in there. It's definitely in there, and it will come good. All things work for the good of the Lord, for good for the Lord. It will come good. That's the best I can say. Yeah, so looking forward to sharing more with this journey, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say for today. Thank you so much, and I look forward to the next video or podcast, whichever it's going to be. All right, take care. Bye.